points that we're not sure that public sentiment shifts, but you put out a piece saying, you know what, I disagree. Yesterday may have been stronger than people realize.
Well, again, I think we have to realize something. Most of the people in this country, they didn't sit there all day on their television and watch all the hearings, wall to wall, hours and hours and hours of it.
Wait, that's what people do every day on MSNBC. Come on now.
Shockingly here in New York and in D.C., but most people, they're going to digest this through 10 to 20-second sound bites, key exchanges. Their perception of that hearing will be very much like what we saw last night, where Chris Hayes and Rachel Maddow ran these montages of what were the big moments. And what they saw, what people who digested the hearing that way saw, was Mueller say he couldn't exonerate Trump from obstruction of justice. He said that right now, at this second, Russia is trying to interfere and meddle in our election. They saw the interaction where he said that the president's answers were not truthful. When you see it that way, your perception of the hearing is very, very different than those of us who watched it literally wall to wall. And so I think because of that, because of the way people really consume information this day and age of Twitter and social media and seeing viral moments, I think that they might be seeing it differently than we did.
Except, of course, the people who are seeing it are in their own echo chambers, and have any of those people changed their tune? I think about that woman who went to Justin Amash's town hall a few weeks ago who said, what do you mean the president wasn't totally exonerated? What do you mean there was anything negative in the report? So, yes, the people who watched Rachel Maddow and Chris Hayes saw exactly what you're talking about, but I'm pretty sure they had their opinion set.
Well, but I think that's true for everybody at this point. I mean, let's be honest. No matter what Mueller said or did yesterday, people who watch Fox News weren't going to wake up and go, you know what, he changed my mind on Donald Trump. We have seen that those people are so far gone now that they would literally follow Donald Trump off a cliff if he told them to do so. So if Democrats in the House were hoping that this would change anyone's mind, they had the complete wrong mindset going into this hearing.
There's a whole bunch of folks in the middle here.
Yeah.
There are only half of this country identifies with a party. Only half. 25% about say they're Democrats, 25% say they're Republicans. 50% call themselves independents. That's where this election will be won or lost. That's what they were trying to do yesterday, was try to hit that group of people. And you're right, they didn't watch it wall to wall. But they also didn't see a report come to life. They didn't really get from what they're seeing on the news the damning moment of this presidency that the Democrats hoped for. That doesn't mean it was a failure. It wasn't. Especially the afternoon hearing, I thought, was really powerful. But I think we sometimes forget, and frankly, some of our people running for president forget, that the way back to sanity, the way to remove the chaos from the White House, is through that 50% of the people in this country that refuse to identify with a party right now.
I agree with you that there is that big population, but I think that, if anything, it makes the case why Democrats need to actually have impeachment hearings so that they can educate the American people about what's really happening and lay it all out for them to follow.
Elise Jordan, what should care about? Yesterday, Robert Mueller reminded us that in the first paragraph of the report, he writes, there was sweeping and systematic Russian interference. And he was asked about it yesterday.
In your investigation, did you think that this was a single attempt by the Russians to get involved in our election, or did you find evidence to suggest they'll try to do this again?
No, it wasn't a single attempt. They're doing it as we sit here. And they expect to do it during the next campaign. I hope this is not the new normal, but I fear it is.
But I fear it is. He said it's happening right now. Will Hurd asked him the question. Will Hurd is a Republican. Yet a few hours later, the same day, Senate Republicans blocked not one, but 2 election security bills. That seems extraordinary.
Well, how is this not the most important thing that came out of yesterday's hearing?
I think it is.
I mean, our democracy is literally under threat, under siege, under attack, and one of the 2 major political parties in this country doesn't want to do anything about that. Why? Because it benefits them. And I think it does illustrate a little bit the danger of waiting until the next election to deal with a crisis we're having right now. Because we know now
but the next election is now.
But this next election may not be fought fairly. It may be undermined by foreign interference, aided and abetted by the President of the United States, who welcomes that foreign interference, who encourages it, who says, if anyone gives me anything that could be damaging to my opponent, no matter where it came from, Russia, China, North Korea, he's going to read it rather than turn it over to the FBI. And so this is why I think impeachment hearings at least need to start happening, because we don't know for sure that the next election is going to be a fair one.
Why would